I'm gonna do my beep trip. First thing I'm gonna start inspecting is my exhaust system. My exhaust system coming from the front all the way to the back is securely mounted by the straps and hangers. My exhaust system is not cracked, broken, or leaking. And it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. If my exhaust system was leaking, I will see a black soot. I'm going to start working to the other side to the vehicle. When I work into the other side to the vehicle, the first thing I'm going to inspect is the mirrors. I'm going to check in my fender mirror and my side mirror. I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken. They're securely mounted, no missing hardware. I don't see any illegal stickers distorting my view when I'm driving. I'm going to inspect my marker light. I have one on the other side. They're amber in color because they face in the front of the vehicle. My marker light represents my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flashers, and my running lights. Now I'm going to inspect my door. My door handle is not cracked or broken, securely mounted, no missing hardware. My door open and closed properly. Now I'm going to check the seals for my door. The inner seal and my outer seal. I'm going to make sure they're not excessively worn or torn and don't rip, and they will not leak into the inside. My door itself is securely mounted by the hinges. My hinges, they're not cracked or broken, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware, and they're properly aligned. Now I'm going to check my exhaust tank. My exhaust is not cracked or broken, securely mounted, and it's not leaking. My exhaust cap is in the tight position, it's not cracked or broken, and it's not leaking. And the rubber seal inside is not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak. I should not drive in this vehicle while less than 8 on the tank. My steps. I want to inspect my steps. My steps right here, and my catwalk. I want to make sure they're not cracked or broken. They're securely mounted, no missing hardware, free of debris, grease, or any other object. Now I want to inspect my fuel tank. My fuel tank, I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken, and I'm going to make sure it's not leaking. My fuel tank is securely mounted by the 2 straps. I have one in here, and the other one on the other side. My straps, they're not cracked or broken, and they're securely mounted to the vehicle, no missing hardware. My fuel tank is not shifting. You see what's shifting? I will see shiny metal because it's aluminum tank. The cap for my fuel tank, I'm gonna make sure it's on the tight position, it's not cracked or broken, and it's not leaking. As I open it, I will check the safety chains and that rubber seal inside. My rubber seal inside is not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak. On this side of the vehicle, I'm gonna inspect the frame and the cross members. I have 3. This is one in the front, one in the middle, and one in the back. So my frame and my cross members, they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. Now I'm going to start inspecting my drive shaft. My drive shaft, I'm going to make sure it's coming from here all the way to the back. It's not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware, securely mounted by the U-joints. I have one in the front, one in the middle, and one in the back. My U-joints, I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware, and they have properly greased. From here, I'm going to inspect my torque arm. My torque arm is not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. The bushings for my torque arm, I'm going to make sure not excessively worn or torn, and they're securely mounted. From here, I'm going to inspect my dual brake chamber. My dual brake chamber, I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken or leaking, and it's securely mounted by 2 clamps. My 2 clamps for my brake chamber, they're not cracked or broken, and they're not leaking, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. Behind my brake chamber is going to be my push rod and my slack adjuster. I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're securely mounted by 2 pins and 2 cutter pins. If I pull on it, when my brakes are released, should be no more than 1 inch of the plate. Now I'm going to inspect my brake chamber hoses. My brake chamber hoses, they're on vibrations, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. Before I move in from here, I'm going to inspect all the hoses on this side of the vehicle. I'm going to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'm going to inspect all the wires on this side of the vehicle. I'm going to make sure they're properly routed, no exposed wire, no fray wire, securely mounted, no missing hardware. Now, I'm going to check my leaf spring mounts. I have one in here and one in the back. My leaf spring mounts, I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. My leaf springs, I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're securely mounted by 2 U-bolts, shim, spacers, and 4 nuts. My leaf spring bushing, which is right here, I'm going to make sure it's not excessively worn or torn, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Now I'm going to start inspecting my splash guard. My splash guard is not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's a proper distance to the tire and the proper distance to the ground. Now I'm going to start inspecting my axle. First thing I'm going to inspect is my inner and outer axle. I'm going to make sure it's no crack, broken, or leaking, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Is my axle, it was leaking, I will see paddle or spin trail. I could not service myself. I had to take it to the mechanic or a shop. For my axle, I'm going to start inspecting my brake liners. My brake liners, they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're not allowed to have less than 1/4 inch of the material. Now I'm going to inspect my brake drum. My brake drum is not cracked or broken and it's securely mounted. I don't see any sign of the coloration indicating the overheating problem. Between my brake liners and my brake drum, free of debris, grease, or any other contamination. Now I'm going to start inspecting my back rims. My inner rim, my outer rim, my inner rim, and my outer rim. I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken and it's securely mounted. I don't see any legal holes or legal wells. My two rims and my brake drum, they're securely mounted by the lug nuts. All my lug nuts, they're present, they're on the tight position. They're not cracked or broken or have any distortion. If one of my lug nuts was loose, I will see a shiny metal and this aluminum ring. If it was a metal ring, I will see rusty. I want to mention that between my two rims, there's no daylight, and there's a full contact in between my two tires, fear debris or any other object. Now I'm going to start inspecting my tires, my inner, outer, inner, and outer, and the face of my two tires. I'm going to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and they're properly seated to my rim. This is a drive axle. The tires can be regrouped, recap, or retread, but they're not allowed to have less than 2 to 3 seconds of the deepest point. If I need to check the air on my tires, I will do it to the valve stamps. I have one in front and one in the back for my inner tire. I'm not going to go to manufacturer specification. I'm going to check my valve stamps. My valve stamps, I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken or leaking and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. My valve stamp cap, I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken or leaking and it's securely mounted and it's on the tight position. Now, on this side, I'm going to inspect my shock absorber and my shock absorber mounts. I'm going to make sure they're not cracked or broken and they're securely mounted. And I'm going to make sure my shock absorber is not leaking. This is my airbag, and my airbag mounts. They're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. My airbag is no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. I will inspect this axle the same way I inspect the front axle. Now I'm going to go under the truck. And right in here, I'm going to start inspecting the frame and the cross member on this side of the vehicle. I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. This light right here is a reflectable lights. The reflectable lights, they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're red in color because they face in the back of the vehicle. Now I'm going to inspect this light right here. This is my reverse light. It's clear in color. It's not cracked or broken, securely mounted, no missing hardware. The lights right here, they're red in color because they face in the back of the vehicle. The function of these lights is my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flashers, and my running lights. Before I'm moving, I'm going to inspect all the wires on this side of the vehicle. They're properly routed, no exposed wire, no fray wire, securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'm going to inspect all the hoses on this side of the vehicle. I'm going to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware.
We're going to start out with our airlines. There are no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. They're securely mounted to the truck, securely mounted to the trailer, securely mounted to the trailer by the glad hand and glad hand receiver. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, no missing hardware. They are not leaking. In between them is a rubber seal. The rubber seal is not excessively worn or torn. It is not leaking. Go to my electrical line. My electrical line. There's no cut, frayed, or exposed wire. Securely mounted to the junction box on my trailer, junction box on my tractor. If the examiner likes to know, this is my service line, this is my emergency line. My lines and my electric cord have proper distance to the frame of my vehicle or the catwalk. Either or will work. Moving on. This is my actuator line, or we can just call it an air line. This is my air lines. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. it goes to my air ram. My air ram is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. My air ram is in the lock position with these two pins through my platform. Coming back over here, my apron. The apron to my trailer is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Coming in here, my skid plate. My skid plate is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted by two pins and a cotter pin. In between my skid plate and my apron, there's no daylight, and it's properly greased. This is my lock and jaw lever. It is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware, and is in the lock position. This right here, this here, and this here is my platform. My platform is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's welded up here, and all these bolts right here hold it on. They are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. My platform is securely mounted to my frame. By all these bolts right here, they are not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. Coming back to the inside of the vehicle. I'm going to point up into the middle of my skid plate. That's my Kingpin. My Kingpin is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's welded, so there's no illegal or missed welds. Coming back out, my locking jaw, the bar going across. It is not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted, no missing hardware. It is in the Loctite position around the shank of my Kingpin. Coming on out. When you come out, gonna take my landing gear shoe. In between my landing gear and my vehicle, I have the proper distance to make a 90-degree turn. That concludes my couplings.